Welcome everyone to round 3, the final round of September 11th Star Wars Unlimited Locals Night at Valkyrie Vault in Brownsburg, Indiana. If you guys are looking for a place to play some Star Wars Unlimited, Valkyrie Vault in Brownsburg, Indiana is a place to check out. Thursday nights, 6 p.m., $5 entry, and you get a pack of the current set, be it being LOF, alongside your promo pack with a chance to get more packs if you place within the top 3. So anyways, this event was a Padawan event, like I said, in round 1. So once again, if you guys have never heard of Padawan before, it's deck building with commons only. No starter rare cards. Your leader can be any leader you want, and your base has to be common. Round 1 of this, of course, we didn't get to see much Padawan content from me with my Vader Yellow, but round 2 and 3, this final round, we do have Padawan content. I really enjoyed the Boba Fett so much more, Boba Yellow, so we have to play some Boba Yellow against another version of Mr. Snoke himself, this time not Showcase, but this time with Snoke Blue. Once again, the aspect here is that you're playing a little more control with the blue aspect rather than the aggro aspect from red. But then let's have to see if the Snokes can take victory. And I believe it was Snoke Red that won the entire event. I cannot 100% remember, but I believe it was Snoke Red that won the entire event. So even though we had 3 decks, I think, that were not Padawan decks, we still had a Padawan deck win the event, and that, in my opinion, is good to hear. So, without further ado, let's see if Boba can win this time, or if Snoke will win once again. Our players have finished up everything for themselves. We're going to start off with, of course, a First Order TIE Fighter, and then we're immediately going to give that a +1 counter on it, thanks to the Snoke, and we have 𝐒𝐍𝐉𝐴 Starhopper on the Boba side. Again, we're then going to use the Snoke's ability to tap 1, and then immediately give a experience token to the highest villainy unit on the board. The 𝐒𝐍𝐉𝐴 Starhopper is just going to knock out the First Order TIE Fighter there, and immediately just have that removed. Immediately going to be able to go for the Guerrilla Soldiers here, and then immediately going to ping for 3 onto that with the Guerrilla Soldiers, and immediately going to go for 1 damage onto the base. Again, the 𝐒𝐍𝐉𝐴 Starhopper on death deals 2 indirect damage. 2 indirect damage on death. So the Snoke Blue player is at 3 damage because of the 2 indirect from the 𝐒𝐍𝐉𝐴 Starhopper. So again, the Guerrillas wouldn't come down if they have they deal 3 indirect damage, and your opponent deals at least 1 indirect damage to your base, to their base. They do get to restand, which is pretty nice. So anyways, we're going to go for, of course, Snoke to give a +1 to the Knight of Ren. We're going to go for Daring Raid to immediately remove the Knight of Ren, +1 extra damage from Boba because a non-combat damage was dealt with. And I believe we have another First Order TIE Fighter in the sky. Again, gets Raid 1 while you have a token unit on the board. Usually more used for Vader than for like non-stuff. So anyways, we're going to deal 2 damage to the strike ship here from, of course, the First Order TIE Fighter. The strike ship is going to swing in for its Raid 3. We're immediately going to go for the Devastating Gunship to immediately kill off. It kills off a unit with 2 or less HP remaining and has grit as well. Very interesting to see there. The Guerrillas are going to immediately attack for the base here, and we're going to kind of have to decide what we want to do. We're immediately then going to bring out the Syndicate lackeys down there again for its ambush, but no ambush target to really go into here. Still very neat overall what we have so far. But anyways, we're going to bring out Mr. Snoke. He's on the battlefield. We're going to swing 5 damage into our opponent's base here. Mainly putting the pressure onto this Snoke player. Mainly going to go Praetorian Guard to come down. It does have Sentinel because Snoke does have, because there is a unit with 4 or greater health points, as we see an AT-ST coming down as well. We're going to kill off the Guerrilla Soldiers here with Snoke giving himself a +1/+1. Funny enough, we have the Boba attaching to the AT-ST. because again, Boba can attach to any vehicle, doesn't have to be space, and then dealing the 4 damage to the Praetorian Guard there, which is pretty nice, which means the lackeys will be able to kill it off here before then the ATST can go full. But it won't matter anyways. A Rival's Fall to immediately remove the ATST off of the board, which is really nice there. Again, a Rival's Fall being a common, the 6 cost kill anything on the board is very, very nice indeed. So that would mean the lackeys will have to go after Praetorian Guard because Snoke is big enough to have them claim their Sentinel as long as you have a unit with 4 or more health points on it. Kind of have to see what the Boba player wants to do here because, again, they have not spent any energy, but there's really not much else they could do. So anyways, we're going to have the Praetorian Guard, the lackeys kill the Praetorian Guard, take back 2 damage points, and then immediately going to have Snoke attack the base here and get himself another one of his XPs here, getting himself just a little bit bigger here. And then we're going to go for another lackey. I guess we're not going to go for the ambush. We could technically go for it and hit a bunch of damage there. And so it looks like the Boba side just claimed. So we have the 2 damage from the First Order TIE Fighter. And then I believe the Devastating Gunship is 3 or 4 damage. I can't remember. I believe it's 4 damage as my camera has decided to unfocus and then refocus. Sorry again for the glare there. Anyways, we have the lackey swinging in 5 here. It looks like to be pretty close here. So anyways, we're going to go for a Perilous on the other lackey, giving it -2/-2 and resting it, which does mean it turns into a 3/1, which it can be pretty devastating. Anyways, we're going to go for the Guerrillas. We're going to deal 4 damage over to the gunship that has grit on it, and then it looks like we're just going to be scooping that one up on the Boba side, giving it over to the Snoke Blue. Yeah, when you deal 4 indirect damage on to a unit that has naturally grit, and then pumping that unit up by 4 more attack points is actually the greatest thing ever. But it doesn't really matter. It's time to get to game 2 and see if Boba can tie up the series. Here we go, folks, for game number 2. Boba's going to start off with a TIE Bomber, and then we have the Hajarian Enforcers being going down onto the other side. They do have grit as well as a bounty, I believe, draw, or I think it's a draw, or your opponent gets to draw 1 card. I can't remember. I don't remember what all the bounties do from Shadows of the Galaxy. Anyways, we're going to pay for 3. We're going to go for the droid missile platform. It is a droid missile platform. I couldn't remember what that name was in game 2. For some reason, I was going to call it something else. Anyways, we're going to go for the Death Trooper here. We're going to deal 2 damage to the Enforcer here, allowing it to also gain the grit there for swinging for 4 this turn. Then we're going to go for the damage points here from the 4 damage. Again, 3 from the Bomber, 1 from Boba. So we're going to take 1 onto the Enforcer, allowing it to swing for 6 damage on its there, because again it's a 2/5 normally because of the +1/+1 counter, which is on. Again, the Death Trooper has to deal 2 damage to something on board state when it does that. So anyways, we're going to looks like we're going to swing for all the damage, but the Death Trooper is we're going to allow the Guerrillas to hit the base. Everything's going to hit base there. And then we're immediately just going to go for the Death Trooper to kill off the Guerrillas. We're immediately going to go for Perilous Position over the droid missile platform, then taking the indirect damage to base. We're going to go for the Snoke to give the Enforcer just another buff here, just so it has a little more staying power right now. So anyways, and then we of course had a First Order Stormtrooper on the Boba side of the board. Once again, on attack on death, deal 1 indirect damage to your opponent. So the Enforcer does have 2 more health points on it, which means it can get 1 more a hit on it. So anyways, it looks like we're just going to exploit that out immediately, and we're just going to immediately kill the Enforcer with the Snail Tank, and then deal 1. Then we have, of course, the 1 indirect damage from the Trooper, and then 1 indirect damage from Boba. It looks like all of that went to the base, and then the draw 1 bounty from the Enforcer. It was a draw 1 bounty. Most of the bounties were draw 1. So anyways, we're going to do 2. We're going to, looks like, kill the Enforcer with we're going to swing in the Death Trooper into, of course, the Snail Tank, and then the Snail Tank's going to get killed off with the Devastating Gunship, because again, at that point, it only has 2 health points left because the Death Troopers are 3/3s. So that leaves it with the Devastating Gunship, allowing the Devastating Gunship to kill it because it only has 2 health points left on it. Really nice there. That does also mean the Devastating Gunship can technically kill off the Bomber, but it looks like that's not going to really matter. So we're just going to waylay it out of the way. We're immediately going to go for the Vanquish. The Vanquish to immediately kill off the Zagarian Star, to immediately kill off the Bomber, just so they don't have to worry about it, because again, it can't kill non-leader units. And then we're going to flip over Boba onto the Zagarian Starhopper, then the effect of Boba to deal 4 damage to Snoke. Snoke swing on base and then deal 5 damage back. We have a Hegarian Enforcer as well. So we're going to have to kind of see what we really want to do here with that now that Boba's in the sky. At least it's not on the ground this time, touched to an ATST. We're going to go for a surprise, a strike to deal a whole bunch of damage there. Again, that is already 6, so that is 9 damage points right there. And it looks like the Snoke Blue player is going to scoop that one up right then and there. Nothing else they can really do. So we're going to that all-important game number 3. Here we go, folks. For game number 3, the Snoke side is just finishing up their resourcing as we have a scout biker on the ground, and then we have a strike ship in the sky. So we're going to have to kind of see what we want to do here. Once again, the scout biker does have grit as well. A really good card for 𝐒𝐍𝐶 Ventress JTL to play around with, because you could use the 𝐒𝐍𝐶 effect to damage it and then get that grit going. So anyways, we're going to swing for 1, and then we're going to then swing for 3 from the strike ship. We're going to see a Praetorian Guard come down, a P-38 Lightning. No, P-38 Starfire. P-38 Lightning was a real-life ship. Anyways, we're going to then deal 1 damage to the Praetorian Guard, and triggering Boba's effect on after the P-38 fighters 1 in non-combat damage, and then deal Boba's effect. So we're going to deal 1 damage to the Scout Biker. The Scout Biker, of course, then has it now. It's grit, so then we're going to pay 1. We're going to put out a couple of First Order TIE Fighters here. Again, they only get raid if they have, as long as there is a token on the board. We're going to go for a P-38 and then immediately remove that off the board. And then we're going to go with Praetorian Guard. So far, the sky is definitely getting out of hand on the Boba side. Again, that's kind of what you want to do in Boba, or even in Darth Vader, as my camera decides it's done playing focusing. Sometimes it focuses through multiple tournaments and all the rounds, and sometimes it just decides to kill over. Anyways, we're going to just go for the Daring Raid to kill off the TIE Fighter there, just so we don't have to deal with it anymore in the sky, dealing with our sky presence. We're going to do it down a Knight of the Ren, and then we're going to go P-38 to deal 3 damage points onto the base. We're going to pay 1. We're going to go for the Snoke to give a +1 counter to the Knight of Ren, and then we're going to go for the strike ship, and then we're going to go have the Speeder Biker attack as well. Then we're going to have the other P-38 attack, and then the Praetorian Guard is going to attack here as well. Then we're going to put out Hate Droid Missile Platform, and then we're going to immediately pass from there, as the Snoke player does have the initiative. The sky are getting a little out of hand there, and unfortunately most cleanup spells in this game are legendaries, so you won't be cleaning much up. So anyways, we're going to deal with the 4 damage from the droid missile platform. Then we're going to swing for whatever's out there in the out of my camera's view, and then we're going to immediately give a plus. Oh, that's Snoke. Snoke is out there. Snoke's on attack gives a +1 counter to the Knight Ring because it's the biggest unit on the board. We're immediately going to go for the Rival's Fall to kill off the other P-38 P-38, and then deal 1 damage to where we want to go. So 1 went into Snoke. I guess we went there, and then Perilous Position, or no, sorry, that is the I think that I believe it's going to be on the yeah, because that's the Fleet Interdictor. So I believe that this was a win by, I don't know, 28 damage. I mean, well, no. This is actually a win by Boba. Boba hasn't flipped yet. So technically, I guess no, that would have Sentinel. So I'm trying to think who would actually have gotten it here, because the Fleet Interdictor could still well, I guess no, even at that point. I'm trying to think who actually got it. All right, so after a little research, the Boba side just claimed the initiative, and because they have all the bodies in the space, there's only 2 damage points left on the Snoke side. Boba will claim the win. The Interdictor was a show that they did have the Sentinel Fleet Interdictor in hand to try to deal with the space front there. So the game goes to Boba Yellow. Boba JTL Yellow. But nonetheless, this event was a lot of fun. It really does take some interesting deck building to really think outside of constructed and really think yourself into one grouping of cards. Commons. Like, what does every leader do with just straight up commons? It really changes how your deck building mentality is. But nonetheless, let me know, guys, your thoughts down in the comments on these Padawan decks. Have you guys tried out Padawan yourself? Let me know if you have, what decks you played yourself. I did Vader Yellow, and I think I went X2 for the event. Not great showing from Vader Yellow, that's for sure. At least in Padawan. He's got great showings when he's constructed. But yeah, let me know all those thoughts down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts as well on the gameplay if I did miss anything. And while you're commenting, do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you're notified when my videos go live for you. And we'll see you here next time on Mom Dragons TCG.